Let's start. First of all, in my first overview, I will give you some glimpse over the LG Group and the company LG Energy Solution, which is part of it. And then comes the portfolio about the RESU products. RESU is an abbreviation for Residential Energy Storage Unit. So it's possible to pronounce it, and therefore we have chosen that several years ago. And of course, in part 3, I will give some words and overview of the properties of these kinds of products. First of all, you know, LG is quite a big group. We have a lot of electronical products which are produced by our sister company, LG Electronics. Overall, it's really a big company with 137 billion US dollars as total volume. We have been part of LG Chem. LG Chem is a chemical company, and now we have made a spin-off which is only dealing with production and selling of batteries. And that's not correct. I have to start again. Doesn't matter. Okay. So the LG Chem is really part of the LG Group, and we are just producing the batteries now. We have started more than 15 years ago with that, and we have made a lot of experience. You see, in 1995, 25 years ago, we started with lithium-ion batteries. This is the only technology which we are using. And the reason for starting was that the automotive industry wanted to make electrical cars or hybrid cars in the future, and therefore we need bigger cells. You can maybe remember the initial times. The cells were very small, a few ampere hours, very small cells, and therefore we have made the initial cells which are very flat and looking like a chocolate bar. These are the pouch cells, which I show you a little bit later. And therefore, we could make cells of 20 to 50 ampere hours. And with that, you can make car batteries. And by today, we have a very, very big automotive business and also an ESS business. ESS is energy storage systems. These are all the batteries which are not mobile, which are not moving. They are in the residential area or also in the grid area. You see here some technical insight of the batteries. You see on the left side that there are possibilities to wind a cell. That means you have electrodes, plus and minus, with a separator in between, and you can wind it, this structure, over a point or a line. Then you get these structures on the left. We are not using this kind of wounded cells. We are taking planar cells. That means each layer is over each other, separated by a separator. And therefore we come to this lasagna type dimensions of energy storage cells. The advantage is if you make cycles, then of course all the geometrical windings at some point might influence the geometry. That means after, for example, 500 cycles, there might be a distortion in the geometry or even a malfunction, and that we want to avoid. Therefore, we have chosen this planar geometry, the pouch cells, and that means we are making just vertical movements with the cell from charging and discharging. If you go to the right, you see that we are doing a lot of patents to secure our knowledge. Most of the companies who are leading these markets are coming from Korea or from China. And you see we have most of the patents. I think what is also clear beside the patent is the ability to produce cells and finished products. You see here our capacities in the different areas of the world. If you buy a storage RESU battery in the moment, it's coming from Korea. But you see that we are also producing quite a lot in China and in the US. And also we started production in Poland, that means in the EU. And you see by 2020, we have reached 55 gigawatt hours. It's really plenty of stuff. And the reason is, of course, that the automotive industry needs such a volume. And ESS batteries are smaller in the amount, but nevertheless, we should be able to produce also the product RESU in a midterm scale, also in the European Union. We will reach at about 150 gigawatt hours in production. This is quite a lot. And now we are coming to the RESU products. Here you see a RESU 10H situated at the wall. And we have two different lines in our battery products. One are 400 volt batteries, which we are calling high voltage because they have a voltage to the inverter of 400 volt. Or we have also another line which is more traditional, and these have 48 volts. You see down below the smaller ones, which 6.5 kilowatt hours, 10 or 13. The high voltage batteries exist in two sizes. One is 7H, that means 7 kilowatt hours, or 10H, 10 kilowatt hours. All our products, of course, easy in installation. They have a high compatibility to modern inverters, and they can be scaled up by a lot of different opportunities. You see, by April 2020, we have sold already in Europe more than 45,000 units in Europe. This is still increasing. We have had a very good year in 2020. And we see that a lot of European countries are now becoming in an interesting area of installing PV residential batteries. It started more or less in Germany, UK, and Italy. And now we see that the Benelux countries, Poland, and Spain is following also that trend. So we are looking forward to good opportunities in Europe. When you look to the compatibilities with our 48 volt line, you see that we have Sungrow, Goodwe, or Victron on the one hand side with hybrid inverters. And on the other side, we have SMA and Goodwe as other inverters. Since the last year, there's also existing a Solar Edge 3-phase inverter, which is of big interest in some countries. So we have plenty of opportunities to combine the 48 volt batteries with current common inverters. One specialty for the 48 volt is that it is possible to combine two units by means of a RESU Plus box. This is a box which made the master by a master BMS and controls the two batteries which are working under this master. And so you can take a combination of 3.3, 6.5, and 10 and combine it by the box, and then you can double the capacity if you want. Or you can take the RESU 13. This can be used by itself and double it with another unit of RESU 13, resulting into a battery of 26 kilowatt hours. Normally, this is quite a lot for a normal household. So a family of 4 persons normally needs 10 kilowatt hours. That's the trend which we see. But by the introduction of more and more hybrid cars or electrical cars, probably more people are looking for higher capacities, and therefore they will need more than 10 kilowatt hours. Here with 48 volt, you can just start with one customer with one unit. And after, let me say, 2 or 3 years, it's possible to take a second unit. That's not a technical problem. That means just take this RESU plus box and then add one more battery. These kind of batteries have integrated handles in the head of the battery. You can see that on the left side. It's possible to put them on the wall, or you can just stand it at the bottom. If there's a need of an upgrade of the software, then you can just screw this plastic on the left side of the upper casing, and then you can insert an SD card with the newest software. But normally this is not necessary. When we have a look to the 400 volts and its compatibilities, you see well-known inverters like SMA Sunny Boy Storage on the right side, or SolarEdge, Fronius, and Huawei on the left side. When we have a closer look to the inside of that high voltage battery, you see that on the left side is the area where the cells are located, and on the right side we have the DC-DC converter and also some area for the cables in the right corner down below. And on the rear side of the battery, you see the wall fixation and of course also some plate where the heat can dissipate. We have a convectional heat cooling and not an active cooling with a liquid or something like that. 2 years ago, we started also a modular design. The reason is batteries are normally quite heavy. If you have a 10 kilowatt hour battery, it can have a weight of 100 kilograms or more. And this is not very convenient. If you install it, you have to work very heavy units. And this kind of RESU 10M is building up by 3 units. One is the electronic, the BPU, we are calling that, the battery control unit with 8 kilograms, and 2 modules with 36 kilograms. That means with such an approach, we can make more easy handling with this kind of batteries at the installation. Here we have the certificates. Of course, we are fulfilling all the global safety standards. The product is sold in the US, in Europe, in Japan, and also in North America. And therefore, we have all the common standards passed, like GIS for Japan, UL for USA, and the IEC for Europe. One of our core properties is that we have a very compact design. That means the depth is very thin, and you can easily attach our batteries without a lot of space consumption at the wall. You can see that on the right side where you have the picture from the outside of a house. That means the inverters are quite small today, and also the battery is small also. This is quite pleasant because a lot of utility rooms, garage, or cellular are quite filled up, and there's not plenty of space left normally. And therefore we have designed our batteries like that. Inside of our battery, we have NMC technology. NMC is an abbreviation for the cathode technology, and this is nickel, manganese, cobalt. Why we are taking that? The trend is lithium ion is a battery technology which has a lot of energy density, and other possibilities are LFP, which is lithium iron phosphate, and this has 20 to 30% less. And therefore, if we are especially looking to cars, it makes sense to have the highest energy density possible technology, and this is NMC. When you look to the production worldwide, you see that NMC, the red area, is increasing year by year. So more and more producers are shifting towards NMC because it doesn't make sense to give up 20 or 30% energy density. Okay, that was also seen. Here we have an overview of videos If you want to install such a battery from us, you can just take one of the videos on our blog website, and it just take 1 to 2 minutes, and then you see how you can mount it at the wall or the RESU Plus expansion. It just take two minutes, and then it's very much clearer than just reading the manual. So here we have all the products of our current RESU family, as I have described it. And we have, of course, also the partner website, which is lgessbattery.com. There you can register a battery with a serial number and get points which you can convert to money. So it's worth and also mandatory to register the battery now at this platform. That was the first part, introduction, which shows you what kind of products we are producing now, and that you have a lot of possibilities when you are looking to the inverter. Normally you are choosing for your customer an inverter, and then you look which battery is compatible. And we are sure that one of the most common inverters are always compatible with one of our RESU products.